Okay guys, welcome to Skyrim with Requiem. This is version 3.4, and here you're seeing a new character that I'm just starting up for the series, called K'teh. K'teh is of course a Khajiit, but there's something a little bit special that we're going to be doing in this series, namely a level 1 run. What does that mean? It means that I've used the Skyrim uncapper to lock this character firmly to level 1.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life
So,
shall begin.
First thing we're going to do is choose our starting point. Camping in the
The
woods.
woods can be so peaceful this time of year. Good hunting.
Let's just get straight into it. I'm sure you've all seen the intro enough times. We don't need to sit in the cart once again. And here we are. In the woods. Oh. Yeah, there's Elduin. Hello, Elduin. I don't know what's going on with the rays coming off the sun. I installed a texture pack at some point, and now I've got little cartoon characters. And it kind of makes me laugh, so I've kept them in there. This is not going to be a horribly serious run. Now, yeah, so let's get into talking about what's going to be happening with this. I was watching a little Let's Play that's being done by Thanatos, I believe his name is. He's a YouTuber. He makes a bit of Requiem content. Definitely check his channel out. I'll link it down below. And he started a series where he actually has a level 1 character, and he's going to try and take it through the game and, yeah, see how far he can get. And I kind of like that idea. I've played the Dead is Dead thing a few times on my own. I'm not actually a huge fan of Dead is Dead, but I did feel like having a bit of a challenge run. Yeah. Level 1. So, what are we going to be going for instead is something that sort of reflects a Khajiit's natural abilities and complements them. So rather than two-hand or anything, we're going to go a marksman. And we're going to take one of our precious 3 perks, and we're going to put it into that first perk there. We need that for the expertise from arrows. And bear in mind, because we can't level up, we're never going to level 2 plus. These 3 points is pretty much all we get until we get the Ogma Infinium, which is a long, long way off, and who knows, may not even be possible. I think it might be, but we'll find out as we go through. I'm seriously considering alchemy, just to try and cover up our weak spots from not having any perks and ability to really do a lot. So we'll take that. That'll also help with money. Money is almost going to be what we're fighting with, since we're going to be relying on a lot of scrolls and things. And yeah, just 1 perk into one-handed, so we can actually get some scaling off that, and a little tiny bit of expertise. And that's it. That's the level ups done. Now, if you haven't done a lot of Requiem before, this is probably not the best series for you to watch, but essentially how it works with its mechanics, skills do not matter that much. If you've got 100 skill points in something like one-handed, but you've got no perks, you basically still suck at one-handed. Some specific trees, like two-handed, aren't quite so bad in that regard. You can still tend to do a little bit of damage. But, yeah, it becomes very problematic. The other problem is that some trees you can't even use unless you've got the first perk. Now, a Khajiit is, fortunately, just awesome. Essentially, a Khajiit has 3 natural talents that they can always make use of. They can always sneak, at least a little bit. They can always pick pockets, at least a little. And they can pick novice locks straight out of the gate. So that almost saves us 3 perk points right there, just by choosing a Khajiit. It's funny, I kind of view Khajiits as almost a class unto themselves. They're really cool. They're really fast and agile. What we'll probably be doing a lot of in this series is running and gunning. No matter what items and artifacts and things like that I manage to get, I'm always going to be squishy. No level ups to health, no level ups to stamina, or anything like that. So Yeah, and also, of course, no way to ever wear heavy armor. I'm never going to have enough magicka to really run any kind of mage armor. Maybe the very first basic level of it for all of 20-odd armor points, which is basically useless. Never going to have enough points to run Shadow Shield in the Illusion Tree, or probably even maintain Blur. So light armor is going to be our only real defense. That and movement. We will be blocking, of course. Even without perks, if you time the block bash, you'll take very little damage. If you time it perfectly, you don't take any damage, and you manage to actually stagger your enemies, which is really quite handy. So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Now, yeah, so here I'm just deciding what my weapons are, what I'm going to be using. Yeah, so that's my weapons. Here I'm just going to start getting them all set up and figure out where I'm going to be wanting everything. So, yeah. Blocking. Yeah, we'll be using block bashes, as I say. The Imperial Shield, that'll probably do us for a while, actually. It's not a bad little light shield. It gives us a little bit of extra armor rating, for all that's worth. There are a couple of constraints I've got on the run. I know that obviously there's a few items I can just go straight out of the gate and get. That'd be a little bit much metagaming, I thought. For example, I don't want to just run straight to Riften and assassinate Vex and get the Guildmaster's gear. I mean, I'm very tempted to do so. And, I mean, look, if I find that it's just unplayable and I'm completely stuck, then maybe I'll go and do something like that, but I'm going to try and avoid it. This is, yeah, it's not something I really want to do, just run around and just destroy all the main quest lines for all the different factions and all that sort of thing. I am going to try to finish the Thieves Guild. It's probably going to take a little while to get into, although the Khajiits can do things like lockpick and pickpocket and sneak. Right now, it's going to be pretty atrocious. I'm going to need to find some items to try and boost my ability to do those things, really. Yeah, that's going to be a thing, actually. Probably the Dark Brotherhood will be the main faction that I'll be using, just because even though they are sort of a sneaky faction, sneaking isn't always as critical as it is often with the Thieves Guild missions. Even with the Thieves Guild missions, I mean, really, you can game them a lot. But like I say, I'm going to try to do things vaguely in a not horribly metagaming, cheesy way. There are a few things where I'm just going to sort of run straight to the location and grab the item, and I'm going to be doing things in a very specific order, just because, you know, there's no point actually spending hours and hours leveling up, grinding on bandits or anything like that, because I can't level up. I will be able to gain skill points. As I say, that really isn't going to help a lot, but it will help in some regard. For instance, the sneak skill, by the time I get sort of 50 odd points in sneak, it will actually be starting to become vaguely usable as long as I've got a few items. Same sort of story with pickpocket. Lockpicking, I'm going to be heavily dependent on probably scrolls, to be honest, for a lot of it. If I can get some better gloves, I think it's the Tier 2 Thieves Guild gloves, the ones that you get after the first mission, that'll allow me to at least unlock apprentice locks as well, which will be a big help. Apart from that, there's other items that I'm obviously going to sort of make a bit of a beeline for. I'm definitely going to want to go and get Saviour's Hide as soon as possible. I'm probably going to still wear the Thieves Guild armor for a long time, but I am going to try and get that Dark Brotherhood Shrouded set up and running as soon as possible as well. The leather boots and the leather handguards, they've got quite good bonuses on them. I am probably, apart from that, going to also really want to get Werewolf as quickly as possible. and later on, I am going to probably need to go vampire as well, just for the next sort of power boost, just as a way of getting even more stats without needing to do a level up. I really hate playing vampires, though, so I'm probably going to leave that for as long as I can get away with. I know lots of people love the whole vampire thing, you know, oh, I'm going to be so dark and mysterious and sneak around and bite people on the neck. Yeah, I really can't stand them. I don't like the gameplay. I don't like getting killed by the sun. I don't like the fact that I'm sort of overpowered 50% of the time and then completely vulnerable to very specific things. I don't enjoy the whole blood drinking mechanic very much. It just pisses me off, basically, having to wait. Like, if I want to wait somewhere because it's daytime, and then, oh no, now I've progressed 4 stages, and the whole thing's a hassle. So, I'm not a fan. But we'll probably have to do that of sheer necessity. So another mod that I have got installed is bandoliers. Now, a little rule that I have for myself is that I can't just craft them. I have to find them out in the world. That prevents me from just sitting there and getting a bunch of leather and immediately having 600 carry weight. But it is nice to have things other than the bags of holding, especially since their amounts got nerfed. And I find it's a nice immersive way of getting just a little bit of extra carry weight on there. Yeah, what other mods have we got on there? I've got left-hand rings. I like that mod. Earlier versions of the Elder Scrolls games had left-hand rings. I know people will go, oh, it's an extra slot for enchanting, so it's overpowered, but I don't really care. I have 2 hands, I should have 2 rings as far as I'm concerned. The other mod that you might have already noticed is Cloaks of Skyrim. I love that mod. I don't know why, I just like having a big billowing cape, so yeah, that's nice. Immersive armors, we've got that on there as well. I'm not running Frostfall or anything. I'm kind of tired of Frostfall. It sort of occurred to me one day that it was really annoying that here I am having to deal with all of these issues and problems and everything else to do with getting cold, and nobody else in the world does. So yeah, it suddenly just broke my immersion factor, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm not running I Need or Realistic Needs and Diseases at the moment either. I think there's enough difficulty in this run already without putting even more difficulty on there. I mean, that being said, if this just turns out to be completely overpowered and actually a lot simpler than I'm expecting, then maybe I will do another run where I add a few more difficulty sort of increasing mods like that. I don't think that's going to be an issue, though. I mean, I think that we're going to be able to go a long way just on the back of artifacts, but it's definitely going to be a struggle at some points. So yeah, so that's Helgen. We've seen it 1,000 times. You've just seen it probably the 1,000th. Now, we're going to go over and collect Hadvar. I usually rescue Hadvar. I don't know why. There's no real reason. A lot of people prefer to get roll-off because they get the free house. But I just prefer Hadvar's. What is it? His uncle. He gives you a few free steel ignits and things like that, so I tend to go for him. Not that that matters. I'm never going to be doing any smithing in this. Oh, that's another mod I've got installed. Honed Metal. I like Honed Metal. Some people think it's overpowered. I don't think it is. I recently, in another playthrough, went to smith up. I think it was the Saviour's Hide, and it was 160,000 septims to improve it 30 armor points. I don't view that as overpowered by any stretch. The amount of time that it would take me to make that amount of money, I mean, at endgame maybe I'll just have that sort of money floating around, but doubtful. So yeah, that's not bad, and it's immersive again. We've got to have things immersive, don't we? So yeah, so here I'm just sneaking around. Sometimes it's a bear or a wolf or a spider. I've even had a couple of times. Can't hear much though, so we might be okay. We're gonna have to take things fairly easy, of course. I do sometimes have a bit of a habit of trying to run in directly and just, yeah, make a bit of a mess of things. But obviously in this run I'm going to be wanting to be pretty cautious a lot of the time. Ah, yes. Bestial stew ingredients. Bestial stew we're going to be relying on. We're going to be relying on a lot of consumables in this. Ah, yes, Hadvar. Yes, yes, yes. Oh no, I'm going to go and help you. I'm going to bring you a healing potion. Yeah, screw that guy. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. Yes, I have one right here. Good. Yeah, so consumables. We're going to be using a lot of consumables. We are going to be abusing skooma, quite frankly. That's just has to happen. Yeah, wine as well. Wine actually is probably going to be pretty important. It gives us a little bit of extra health. Not even a little bit, it gives us, I think, 70 extra health points or something ridiculous if it's the Alto wine, which is going to be huge for us. Couple that with the skooma and we're going to be laughing. Making our drug-addled way across Skyrim, I guess. Sleeping tree sap, that's an extra 100 points. Yeah.
Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't
yeah, no, you're quite right there.
if he comes back.
Let's get out of here. We're going to go to Riverwood. Yeah, so we're going to be drunk and generally high a lot of the time in this playthrough.
Good luck.
What else? Potions, obviously. We're going to try and compensate for our weaknesses with potions. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering. I turned off poison visuals here, but for some reason, I've still got just the little drunkenness filter on it. I'm just checking here to see if I've forgotten anything. I don't think I did. I think it's really just that sack there. Now let the flower gathering and the butterfly collecting begin, I guess. Yeah. We're going to use this for making money. We're going to use this for covering our weaknesses as much as we can for, a single point in alchemy. Poisons are going to be very important a lot of the time to get through much of the content. Yes, you see, we just went a level up in evasion. Now, you might have noticed, our actual character level didn't increase. Only, we gain that point of evasion skill, and nothing else happens. So, yeah, that's going to happen all the way through. Uncapper by default allows you to actually level your skills up to, 1,000 each. I very much doubt that we'll get to that point, and even if we do, it honestly isn't going to make that much difference without perk points. So, here we're going to go for the Warrior Stone first. I would love to go for the Thief Stone because it would sort of fit the build I'm planning, but we need the Lord Stone later, which means we need to go the Warrior Stone set. We're going to be so squishy without the Lord Stone, so let's not make our life any harder than it has to be, eh? Yeah, so we're going to try and go for all those little sort of passive advantages. We're going to go for Agent Amara, we're going to use Agent of Debella, get that extra 10% hits on males, of which all the dragons and all that sort of stuff in the game are actually male. Yeah, all those little perks and advantages that we can possibly get without needing to level up. We are going to therefore also need to go and become Dragonborn. Well, I guess technically in the way the story goes we already are Dragonborn, we just don't know it yet. But I mean, yeah, we'll be getting heavily into shouts, trying to use shouts to overcome a lot of our weaknesses. That's going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to fighting my first dragon. It's going to take forever. We're not going to have a lot of armor penetration. We're not going to have a lot of advantages or tools for dealing with them directly. One thing we're going to make a lot of use of in this playthrough, of course, are scrolls and probably staves as well. Yes, we are going to go and get the Skull of Corruption at some point. It's just going to be necessary, I think. We're not going to be able to do enough spiking damage any other way that I can think of through a little bit of theory crafting. Well, it's hard to say. See, one of the things that we're going to have to really deal with is that in Requiem, one of the mechanics is you get derived attributes. You get extra damage to your sword or your bow based upon things like your health or your stamina level. You get extra magicka resist for being over a certain level of magicka, for example. Since that's actually calculated off your base stat, which we're never going to be able to increase because we're never leveling up. So I'm not going to have any of those natural advantages. So, yeah. I don't know why those bestial stew ingredients all just decided to run off. Probably because they knew I was about to turn them into bestial stew. Or at least take their hearts for that purpose. I don't want to run after them, though. I'll just get more flowers. Yeah, scrolls. Scrolls are going to be huge. Scrolls are going to be really, really important, to the point where I think you could almost say that money is going to be our strength in this playthrough. You can actually get some really overpowered scrolls in Requiem for a lot of the fairly high level abilities that would normally take you sort of 75 points and such a magic tree to get. I think you can get things like mass paralysis and mass calm and all sorts of good things like that. Obviously, Atronachs. We're going to want all the Atronachs. We're going to want, what do you call them? Cloak spells. We're going to want elemental cloak spells. All of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be able to recharge my enchanted weapons. I'm going to need scrolls to help with that. I'm going to need scrolls to unlock any doors that we come across or chests that we come across. Eventually, I'll probably get enough health and stamina, I guess, to open up the adept locks, but it's kind of sketchy. It doesn't work on every object, only the wooden ones. And I'm going to still obviously want to be able to unlock expert locks as well. Probably never going to be able to do master locks, to be honest, not unless we get some really, really good potions of lockpicking in the Guildmaster's gloves. But that's okay. We will survive. We will make it work. What else? What else is there as far as consumables? Yeah, staves. Skull of Corruption. Eventually, we might even be able to get the Staff of Magnus, I guess. That's going to be a very long way off. In the meantime, any of the other staves that we come across are going to be hugely important as well. I'd like to be able to have a good staff of Raise Undead of some sort. I guess, what is it? Not Dead Thrall. There's the rank below Dead Thrall. I'm pretty sure there's a staff that can actually give you that ability. So you get a undead minion for like 10 minutes. That sort of thing is going to be very important for covering up our own weakness. For followers, I have Inigo installed. He's probably going to be my go-to for most of it. The main reason I always go back to Inigo is his AI is good. He doesn't get lost. Other companions and things, they tend to just go running stupidly in front of your bolts and get one hit. Or they just do something weird and suddenly they bug out and you've lost and you never find them again. That would be a problem. We're going to be heavily relying on having a follower. Now, I obviously could use the slightly cheesy exploit where we do quests that give us temporary followers, never finish the quest, and then we end up with a whole train. I think you can actually end up with a ridiculous number of temporary followers like that. And I think it's like 25 or something stupid. I'm not going to do that. That would be a little bit too cheesy. I mean, again, if it turns out that this level 1 idea is just terrible, then maybe we will to get past some points. And if it's something like, say, Dustman's Can, where it's really obvious that I'm going to be having that second follower for some reason, I'll have that. But most of the time I'm going to try and just have the single follower. Here I'm stealing the Illumination Ring. You will see why. This is a little exploity. Certain enchantments, even if you don't have any enchanting skill, can be used if they have no magnitude on them. And what that means is you get the maximum amount of XP and money for the enchant, even if you just use a petty soul gem and even if you have no enchanting skill. There's not that many enchants like that. I think it's mainly Water Breathing, Muffle, and Illumination. They're the ones I know off the top of my head. That's just going to help with making money a little bit more. It's not going to really do me any other good. the other thing is, well, I'm probably going to cut out all the bits of me crafting too, because that's boring, so don't worry, you're not going to have to sit here and watch me make 10,000 illumination rings or anything like that.
Tell me as soon as I'll show you what I know.
You see that? That was our one and only training session in the entire game. That's it. That's it. Because we're never leveling up, so... yeah, 15 marksmen. That's where we're starting off. I can hear wolves off in the distance, or as I like to think of them, bestial stew ingredients. So yeah, I think this build will probably be able to work without being horribly exploity. Yeah, I just cut out doing some alchemy there and some selling. It's just boring and pointless. I hate that when I'm watching a Let's Play. Yeah. So, yeah, I think this build will be able to go the distance. There are some other build ideas I've actually got. I think this is actually quite a good challenge. Can you come up with a build where, with only 3 perks, you can actually go all the way through the game and defeat Alduin? I mean, we know that the two-handed orc warrior, that is a viable method for accomplishing that. I'd like to demonstrate that the Khajiit marksman is also able to accomplish a similar kind of feat. The other one I kind of suspect might be able to work, although I think I'd need to cheese it a lot more, would be a necromancy using Spellblade. I might give that a try at some point. If this one works and it becomes viable, I might think that that's a good idea. I'm not really sure about anything with a heavy armor build. I've tried to think about a way of doing heavy armor, but I honestly just don't think it would work. You need a lot of perks to really make heavy armor good. If you just drop 1 perk into it, yeah, you can use heavy armor, but you're so slow. You're basically just going to get destroyed in a lot of situations. See, the thing that's going to keep me alive using old K'teh here is my ability to move fast and just dodge and use the terrain to my advantage. I wouldn't be able to do that with heavy armor on. That would just be too difficult. Well, I mean, I guess if I used an Imperial, that could maybe work. We'll see. There I stupidly tried to eat food, not realizing I was technically still in combat. I forgot about the other wolf. That's right. Where are you, bestial stew ingredient? There we go. Thank you. So yeah, obviously bestial stew, beef stew, that's going to be the other big important one for that nice health boost and carry weight boost. Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. I do have a family as well, so sometimes I may need to quickly edit out a rather large pause if some emergency has come up and I've had to run away and deal with it. Yeah, so what were we talking about? Yeah, builds, other builds that are possible for a level 1 run. I do think that it's possible to do a spell sword. However, I think that I would have to make a beeline straight for some of the really powerful mage's artifacts that are at the College of Winterhold and basically cheese those. Namely, what you can do is, once you're through Sarthal, you can go and assassinate the Archmage and take his robes. Quite simply. And then immediately after that, you can walk downstairs, find Ancano, wait for nobody to look, and then kill him and take his gloves. And between those two things, you've then got the ability to cast a very powerful destruction spell for Zero Magicka, courtesy of Ankano's gloves, and courtesy of the Archmage's robes, of course, the ability to cast quite a lot of other things, as well as a big boost to your magical, Magicka regeneration rate, and your cost reduction in various schools. So I think between those two things and some other artifacts that you can find around the place, it would be possible, but I don't want to cheese it that much for this very first attempt at a level 1 completion. So with this character, I shouldn't need to do anything quite so scammy. I'm kind of going to be doing almost something like that to get the Savior's Hide, but then it's also kind of just part of that quest as well. That is one way of finishing the quest, so it's not like it's some unintended side effect, which makes it a little bit better, I guess. And yes, obviously we're going to be needing to join the companions and do all of their stuff, at least as far as getting a werewolf form. I don't know if I'll go through the entire way. There's not many artifacts that are specific to hunters or thieves or anything like that. Any sort of evasion build. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And here we are. We finally made it to Whiterun. Pretty event-free, to be honest. Not that we've done a lot. This was really just a prologue episode to sort of let you guys know what I was planning and what this is all going to be about. Oh yeah, Uthgard. Hello, Uthgard. Yeah. You know, I was tempted to try and do a punch cat as a level 1 run. Not even bother taking any one-handed skill, just go claws. But yeah, I think that's just pushing it, to be honest. Yes. So of course we're so much faster than her. We can just dance around her. It's completely pointless. Free follower. That's what we need. Yes, come on, Uthgard. You can do it. Hit me. Or is it Uthgard? Who knows? That's what you call a punch. Who would ever fight a Khajiit? Who would ever go in a fist fight? Hey, look at that big tiger man over there. I'm gonna go and fight that tiger guy. The tiger girl in this case. Tiger girl. Yeah. And just give me the key to your house. Alright guys, so I'm going to run into Whiterun. I'll probably do some crafting, some selling. I'll probably go and do the boring parts of things like joining the companions. And then, yeah, we'll pick it up next episode. Okay, have a good one.